Kalalah Malak Yahweh Wa Yahushai Bahashem Rahakodash. Double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings to those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakatah. Today's lesson, the Medes and the Persians. And both shall play an important role in prophecy. When the scriptures speak about the modern day Medes and Gog and Magog, they are in reference to the Russians. In these last days, the Medes shall be stirred up along with the Persian Empire, which is the Iranians, to wage war on Babylon the Great, which is America. And when it comes to the Iranians of today, they are the original Persians. And a quick lesson upon the Iranians of today, as you can clearly see here, it all began in 1933 when the Persians asked governments around the world to make slight adjustments to the way in which they referred to their country and ruler. So in 1934, they informed foreigners that from March 21st, 1935, Persia should be officially called Iran. And there you have it. That's the history. When it comes to the nations, there is a covering cast that is set over them. The Lord shall get rid of that also. In these end times, the Medes shall be stirred up along with the Persian Empire to come up against modern day Babylon the Great. And no longer is America the big bully. Now Russia is the new bigger bully in town. And with that being said, let's go over to Revelation 13 and 4, which says, Revelation 13 and 4, and they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? This goes into the pride of the Westerners or the Americans that basically say who can come up against NATO and America. NATO is the beast. And according to prophecy, the one who is able to make war with him is that new bigger bully, which is Russia. They will answer the call and the task to take on the West. This is all biblical prophecy, and biblical prophecy has said that the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, will be the ones to stir up the nations along with the kings of the Medes to wage war. And the Russians, along with the other nations, have turned those pruning hooks into weapons of war. All nations have leveled out the playing field in the possession of nuclear arms. That's why the scripture of Joel 3 and 10 has said, Let the weak say, I am strong. In these times, no longer does a country have an advantage over another. The smaller countries have now leveled the playing field when it comes to the possession of nuclear capability. And when it comes to the modern day Medes, they are being stirred to come up against modern day Babylon the Great in that inevitable World War III. All major empires have fallen throughout the centuries. What makes you think that modern day Babylon the Great will not meet the same fate, the same judgment? It's coming for Babylon the Great. When it comes to the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, he is the best chess player when it comes to the military maps that are used to design the battle plan. The Lord himself is a man of war, according to the scripture of Exodus 15 and 3. And it is the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, that mustereth the host of the battle. That being said, let's go over to Isaiah 13 and 4. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle, hosts meaning armies. The etymology of the word muster, which is a verb, means to collect, assemble, or bring together in a group or body, especially for military service. And when soldiers muster, they gather together in one place in order to take part in military battle. So in other words, the Lord Yahweh, Yahushai, is preparing the armies of the nations for the sole purpose of what? Of war. It is the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai that mustereth the host of the battle. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. The Russians are those modern day Medes that shall not care for or be concerned about silver and gold. The Russians will not delight in any form of monetary system. Neither will they care about any official bans of embargo or sanctions being placed upon them. And I brought that out a while back when all this was happening with Ukraine. The Russians, along with their allies, shall be stirred up to come up against Babylon the Great, which is America, with their bows in that greater war to come. And this is biblical prophecy. That official ban of embargo and sanctions placed upon the Russians during the war with Ukraine failed. And Russia now is stronger as a result. And they shall go back to that Soviet Union mentality. It's all a matter of time. The Russians have won that war of brother versus brother in Ukraine. That's one of the reasons why I put small commentary videos of their very own active and retired servicemen saying that the war in Ukraine has been lost. The scripture of Psalm 64 and 8 has said, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And the wicked are being revealed. We knew that they were lying when it came to the status of the war in Ukraine. The so-called American people have lost all confidence when it comes to the American media. That's why they now go to outside sources and news networks in order to get the truth. Because they know that the American media is bought and paid for to tell lies. They are being revealed. Isaiah chapter 13 verse 18. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. That's right. The bows speak of their silos, and those arrows speak of those missiles that the bow shall let loose. These arrows are the weapons of the Lord's indignation or righteous anger. Those arrows of destruction shall not even spare the fruit of the womb upon detonation. In the aftermath, there shall be nothing left. Babylon the Great shall become desolate and a complete wasteland. And after the smoke clears, that's when the wild birds shall move in and stretch themselves upon that line of confusion, right? Upon that line where one border began and another one ended in that same line. They shall stretch themselves upon that line of confusion. Upon the borderlines. You're not even going to know where one state began and another one ended. The time will come when Babylon the Great shall undergo through the worst tribulation of all. The Lord will lay that land desolate and destroy the sinners thereof. The detonation shall bring about radiation and darken everything due to the smoke rising and the ashes falling upon all things. Dark ashes. Because you also have to think of those ashes. That's why when you read something, you got to also picture the things that are going to occur. Where there's smoke rising, there's also ashes falling. Everything shall be dark. It shall not even let the light come in. All things shall be darkened. With that being said, let's go over to Jeremiah 51:11. Jeremiah 51:11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, the vengeance of his temple. The arrows are the missiles. The kings of the Medes represents the Russians for his devices against Babylon. Babylon speaks of America, and those devices speak of those inbound nuclear warheads that will be launched from their respective silos of land, sea, and air, from their airplanes. They shall be shot from their airplanes. Here is another scripture upon the Medes, Jeremiah 51:28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Right. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. Even the Carmanians shall rage in wrath and shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. According to the scripture of 2 Ezra 15:30, the Carmanians upon the scripture of 2 Ezra 15:30 speaks of the Iranian wild boars of Iran. The Iranians of today are the Persians, and it is prophesied that they shall come with great power. And that's what they want to do. They want to go to Iran. They want to invade Iran. But the least of the flock shall draw them out. They shall draw out the Russians into war. But when it comes to Iran, they should not be underestimated due to the fact that they have an enormous arsenal at their disposal. They have very sophisticated and accurate theater ballistic missiles with a range of 1,200 miles, and tactical ballistic missiles, the TBMs. They also possess cruise missiles, unmanned systems, and drones. No longer can the little guy be bullied. The scriptures have said, let the weak say, I am strong. And according to the scripture of Jeremiah 50 and verse 9, the Lord, Yahweh, Yahushai, will cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. Even North Korea ordered a new ICBM and a larger nuclear arsenal to come about. So these nations are preparing. The scriptures have said, let the weak say, I am strong. On that day, the nations and the stirred up kings of the Medes, which are the Russians, the captains and the rulers thereof, shall come up against Babylon the Great. They will not regard silver or gold, and their only purpose shall be to burn her with fire. Let's go over to Jeremiah 51 and 29. Jeremiah 51 and verse 29. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. The Lord's purpose is to remove modern-day Babylon the Great from among power via the destructive arrows of these nations. The Lord shall come up against these nations for what they have done to the true children of Israel, which consists of so-called Negroes, Latinos, Tainos, and Native American Indians, and what they still continue to do. He is sending great plagues upon the world, and it's all due to their wickedness. It's all due to wickedness. Russia will strengthen their ties with the other nations to come up against modern-day Babylon the Great. Remember that they placed sanctions upon Russia, and that embargo. Russia will strengthen their ties with the other nations. And you're already starting to see it. The scriptures have said that there shall be a guard unto them. Right? There shall be a guard unto the Persians, unto the modern day Iranians, which are the Persians. If the Israeli come against the Iranians, you can best believe the Russians shall step in. The least of the flock shall draw them out. The scriptures have said that there shall be a guard unto them. The Russians shall be a guard unto the Persians of today. The chess pieces are being set on the board as we speak. The only thing that is left for modern day Babylon to do is to implement the MOTB, CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16. The war will not come unless that is implemented first. Babylon shall become desolate without an inhabitant once that CHIP is fully implemented. The Holy Scriptures have said to warn them from me in the scripture of Ezekiel 33 and 7. And that is exactly what we are doing, warning you of that greater war to come and of the evil MOTB, CHIP of deception that is to come. Whosoever receives the MOTB in any part of the body, in their right hand, meaning their power hand or forehead, shall receive the overall wrath of the Lord Yahweh wa Yahushai, and shall be destroyed. Do not take it. And we cannot stress that enough. First cometh the MOTB of deception, and then cometh World War III quickly, as it says in the scripture of Revelation 11 and 14. But with that being said, Kal Allah Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahakwadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel. Blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity, and to the Akwath who listen. Shalom Israel, Barakatah. Shalom Israel, Barakatah.